Hello, Cambly learners. My name is Artur and I am a tutor on Cambly. Today, you'll be learning about adjectives and their degrees, the positive, comparative, and superlative. To start, it is important for us to look into the function of the degrees of adjectives. The positive is nothing more than an assertion, an affirmation of a word that qualifies, defines, or modifies a noun. It is a word that describes a noun. Let's look at three simple sentences. The first sentence, we have, the cat is fast. The second sentence, we have, the large house is on the hill. And the third sentence, we have, the tall woman is Janice. Looking at the first sentence, the cat is fast, we know that the word fast refers to the word cat. It is giving a description of the cat. In the second sentence, we have the word large, and it again describes a noun, and it is describing the word house. In the third sentence, we have the word tall, and the word tall is describing woman, of course, which is Janice. The comparative states a quality that is found in two nouns, and compares that quality in its intensity within both nouns. In English, we have two main ways in which we form the comparative. The first form is by adding an er suffix to the end of a positive with either one or two syllables. For the first example, we consider the adjective in the positive degree smart. The word smart has a single syllable, and so we add an er suffix to the end, making the word smarter in the comparative. Now, in an example, we could say that a border collie is smarter than a pug. This means that we understand that both the pug and the border collie do have the quality of being smart, but it means that we understand that the collie has more of this quality than the pug. Another example that we could use to demonstrate the er suffix ending for positives in the comparative is the word narrow. However, narrow has two syllables, but we'll still use er. So in this case, we have the word narrower. For an example, we could say that the dirt road is narrower than the street. Now, what that means is that we know that both the street and the dirt road are narrow, but that the dirt road has more of this quality than the street. We are now going to go into the second way in which we form the comparative, which is by adding the word more in front of adjectives with two or more syllables. For the first example of the set, I chose the word stressful. Now, the word stressful is an adjective with two syllables, and it uses the word more in front of it. Thursday was more stressful than Wednesday. In this case, we understand that both days were stressful. Both of them had the same quality, being stressful. But we understand that Thursday had a higher level or a higher intensity of stress than Wednesday. The superlative in reality is when you consider that there is a quality and that this quality is within an object, and all the other objects that contain that quality have that quality at a lesser degree. So we're saying that this one object holds a higher degree of this quality than all the others that hold the same quality. Now, the superlative degree basically follows the same conventions that the comparative degree follows, but now instead of the er ending for words with one to two syllables, we're going to use the est ending. And for words that have two or more syllables, we are going to use, instead of more, most. Okay, so let's continue on to the first example of the superlative in the est form. We'll use the same word that we use for the comparative form, the word smart. The border collie is the smartest of all dogs, or the border collie is the smartest dog. In this case, what we're saying is that all dogs do have the quality of being smart, but that the border collie has much more of this quality than any other dog. All right, so let's continue on to the next example of the superlative form in the est ending. If I say that the dirt road is the narrowest road, or the narrowest way, or the narrowest path, what I mean to say is that there are various paths, various roads, or even highways, streets that are narrow, but none of them are as narrow or have the same level of intensity of being narrow as the dirt road. I will now go on to the superlatives with two or more syllables that use the word most. So if I say, for example, that Friday was the most stressful day, what I mean to say is that, well, I believe that all days were stressful or had a level of stress, but that Friday had the highest level of stress of any other day. Not all words follow the conventions that I've spoken about. Actually, there are cases where we have words that, while they have only one syllable, they do not function with the ER. One of those cases is the word fun. You don't say funner, you say more fun. There are other words, for example, like the word gentle, that while it does have two syllables, you can actually write it as more gentle or gentler. Also, you have words that are irregular, like the word good. It is good as positive, it is better as comparative, and it is best as superlative. So, before you actually decide on how you form a superlative or a comparative, please verify the usage. And in closing, we hope that this lesson was helpful. Please comment below to let us know what other lessons you'd like us to cover next. For those who are unfamiliar with Cambly, Cambly gives you instant access to friendly native English speakers like me. Take your English lessons anywhere, anytime, right from your phone or computer. Schedule your next lesson with me using the link below. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.